This guy, wrong on every point of this, but I just wanted to go over this because he's always talking about someone getting killed, threatening people.
Because every time he mentions that women have been destroyed by media and TV and OnlyFans sites and all this other stuff, he's pointing at the principalities and those who rule and the kings and queens and principalities of this world. He is actually doing a godly thing. Unfortunately, he's following Islam, which doesn't really have a saviour at all. And Islam does not have any power. Its God has no power. You see, I read mine earlier in Habakkuk 3:4. My God is as the light. He has lightning coming from it.
It's also in the Quran. So they do have the same book, Lee. Just saying. The Muslims have the same book you claim. They were both written by the Vatican, those principalities you were just speaking of. And your God you keep describing, they describe them the same way in the cuneiform. The exact same way. Funny enough. Bible canon, yo.
Pestilence to punish the Israelites for their ongoing idolatry and disobedience. The amount of idol worship that is going on this planet right now is beyond comprehension. And this means having somebody, something, or somebody in your life that is ahead of God. God sent pestilence to punish the Israelites for their ongoing idolatry and disobedience. And during the tribulation, he will send pestilence to punish the unrepentant. The first angel went out and poured out his bowl on the land, and ugly festering sores broke out on the people who had the mark of the beast. Christ, just of magnetism, he's invisible, and it's a double helix of energy coming out of his hand, which I've shown hundreds of times on my channel. So unfortunately, he's actually following, in my opinion, a false religion. But then again, I don't follow Christianity. I follow the Christ.
Somebody between you and God. What you just said about idolatry. Now, the funny thing is, you say that pestilence comes from God himself. The energy around him.
Spot of energy content around God that will proliferate and encourage the growth of fever and plagues. We know it's an energy content area.
I was top senatorial investigator when one of those energy content areas told me exactly what was going to happen. And it wasn't in the name of God, and it wasn't a shining being. They worked very hard at gain of function and released it. It wasn't any act of God. What it was is the elites knew we lived in a three-sun system, and they wrote this script a long time ago because they've done it to us before. We've gone over this. This guy's crazy. Just saying. Alright, enough of that shit. It was just too stupid. If you don't do your research, you're going to walk around talking like an idiot your whole life. Prime example. We have big magnetic rotations on this planet that don't belong here. Those are outside source magnets. You can see them at night. The top of us, is being manipulated by huge clockwise rotations, as you can see, misforming the polar storm that is normally here in a circular manner into a fucking egg-looking thing. Big swirl, big swirl. These things are attracting your compasses. They're making, every year, a little stronger, your compass to move a little more. The swirl, the rotation, the magnet, the pole is still in the same place. Your compass is moving over a little more every year because this is getting stronger every year. Duh. Do you see what's off the coast of California and been sitting here getting stronger and stronger and stronger and running this wind up the fucking coast like I've been saying for fucking 9 months? These ain't gonna get nothing but stronger and bigger. Today we have 16 5.0 quakes because there's a little more than yesterday and the day before and the day before. Because when you have solar systems rolling up on you, they take their time. Put yourself 3 years ago. This didn't happen. This is happening damn near every fucking day now. Now, as you can see with your own eyes, long before this slap came from the front, we're getting the arrows pointing backwards from the solar wind from behind us. This being a massive planet, and there's another one right up here. You can see these at night. For example, at sunset, when you turn east, you're going to find Orion laying flat on his back, which is something the winter hunter should never do. When you find him, turn to your left. That's your north sky. Notice there's no stars there. Look a little harder. You're going to see the circumference. You might want to take a chair. It gives you vertigo. We are being crunched. Our Schumann frequency has been spiked for a long time. It's been above 7.83 hertz for a long time. The only way you can raise the Schumann frequency is to shrink the atmosphere of Earth from the ionosphere to the planet. That is its bounce track. The smaller that track is, the higher the frequency. The only other way to raise the Schumann frequency is to literally change the laws of physics and speed up the speed of light. That is your formula. That's how the Schumann frequency is made. Obviously, we're getting outside influence on the ionosphere and pushing it towards us, just like we've been showing. That is why, and the only reason why, the Schumann frequency is spiking. It's not going to ascend you. It has nothing to do with viruses or bacteria that are being affected upon us right now. That is an act of man. Thank you, JP. A scientist will read a dozen of books in his lifetime, but still believe he has a lot more to learn. A religious person barely reads one book and think they know it all. I am amazed at how many people that read this book never go to look for the original books. Even though they'll sit here and tell you the principalities and this and that and the other thing, the elite this and the elite that, they never even put it in their mind that the elite wrote this book. There's original books called the canon. It seems like the people that read this book can't find. I don't know. So there's been a lot of plane incursions into Taiwan by China in the last few days that haven't hit the news, but that's picking up speed again. And Russia declared war on all NATO fucking troops and activated their nuclear command system for the first time. Do I have to remind you? I've told you this is the end game. I was offered a bunker for my son and I. When I turned in my work on the polar vortex, causing the planet to tilt, making the sky roll, was told, don't worry, we're going to off 3/4 of the population to keep them out of our bunkers. That's not what I was worried about. I was worried about them killing off 3/4 of the population to keep you out of their bunkers. That ain't cool. Oh, yeah. And fair use. The man sitting here talking about lies, I have every right to point out the lies. So, on your copyright bullshit. Everything on my community page is you should watch, you should look at. This is research. This is exactly what I told you is. It's rolling out of what they've done. All up here by doctors. There's some Inky. There's some Lee stuff. Planned X Hunter. And some updates. How to a Star. That's a good one. This is all about our current situation and them telling you what's going on. I told you they would. Well, simply put, that's what it looks like. So, y'all have yourselves a good day. I'll probably be blowing glass here in a little bit myself for those of you who want to kick down on the live. Here in the next day or two, we're going to be moving about 50 miles north to blow out of a shop for a little while. I got a hold of Amy last night. She said she'd be ready for me today or tomorrow. So there you go. Have a good day.